Hey guys, today we're at Griffin HQ and we're going to go over real quick some things that I really like about it and what they're doing as a company. Some things that I, as a consumer, I guess, really enjoy. To start off, I have 3 rep PR5000s and I think that this rack is superior, okay? And when I say that, I think it comes down to the details. Right here we have an upgraded Sandwich J-Cup by Griffin. And if we consider what rep is doing, and in the game right now rep is kind of the bigger dog, but they have less ability to work on little things and refine it at such a large scale because they're working at such a large scale. So something that Griffin can do really well right now is refine the product and implement it fairly quickly. So what we have right here is a larger J-cup than the rep version. The rep one would probably come in around here, meaning it would cut off around that height. And so what Griffin did was they extended it and they upgraded essentially I'm pretty sure this is UHMW. Feel free in the comments to correct me if I'm wrong, but I really love this. That being said, you can buy this from Griffin's website, and if you have a PR5000 already, it'll fit very well on your PR5000. Now these spotter arms on the Griffin rack are fairly similar to the PR5000, and they're going to look familiar, but in my opinion, there's a very good logo here. It's Griffin's logo. I like that a lot. Moving on, something that I was fairly disappointed with rep was the safety straps, and you guys know that I upgraded them to the Rogue Monster safety straps, and that cost a pretty penny, a real pretty penny. That, in a sense, I think I really got ripped off. And in hindsight, if I do it again, I just go to Griffin and pick these up because they'd fit perfectly on my PR5000s. And if you look right here, some things to note, or you have the hitch pin design so you can pop it out and lets you want to walk through here, not get in the way. This comes factory, this comes stock. Okay, the Rep Monster safety straps, as far as I'm concerned, and unless they've updated it, they don't have that. Something else on the Rogue Monster safety straps is in here, this bolt is jagged, which means over time it will it'll cut through your straps, okay? It'll cut through the strap itself. Even though a lot of companies, they double ply it, like you can see there, it's still something to consider. So I have 3 of these racks, and in the future, I'll probably have to replace the straps, probably not because of the knurl on the barbell eating through the strap, but because of the nut that they're using. So I really like how Griffin covered the bolts with this cover here that's smooth. And in general, how it works, if you're not familiar, is you pop it out, you move it down, and inside it's lined, so you're not going to have to worry about scratching up your rack. And it fits in very nice and very well there. Moving on, in the back of the rack, this is a 6-post rack by Griffin, so you have the weight storage. Something that Griffin did, it seems on all their racks, is they went with the dark colored hardware. So that's something I really like. All my rep racks have the bright zinc hardware. I'm a big fan of the darker, more sleek look, and I like it a lot. Weight posts, feels like it's covered in urethane. Nice, I like it. These are sturdy. Okay, I have the utility pins on our PR5000s, and they move around a ton. That being said, we do have a lot of weight on them, but even if you only have one plate, 145, it still moves around a lot. And you could see here that I'm moving them a lot, and the plates are good. So very nice. Something to note is the utility pins are actually smaller than 2 inches in diameter, and that's intentionally done so that your plates can fit fairly easy, if you see there. And you don't really have to worry about having to get them on. You know, if you're picking up a 10, 25, or 45 pound plate mid workout, you don't necessarily want the workout to be moving the plates around. You want it to be whatever movement and exercise you're doing. Now, something that the founders of Griffin was telling me just now was that on their bench, this is the flat and incline bench. It doesn't do decline, but something that Griffin does and that I really like is they take into account what the consumers really like. And they apply that feedback to their products. If we look right here, this is a incline and flat bench that we see a lot of companies doing this right now, but Griffin is doing something special. What they did was oftentimes, these are, I don't know, potentially around 47 inches, around 4 feet. And what Griffin did was they cut it. So usually this pad would come up higher. Okay, and what Griffin did was they cut off a chunk at the top. And why they did that is that when you're sitting on the pad, and let's say you're doing incline, dumbbell overhead, let's say you're doing dumbbell shoulder press, right? The nice thing about this cut version where you don't have the pad coming up here a little higher is that your dumbbells likely aren't going to hit the pad. And a lot of customers from other companies are saying that, wow, this back pad is so long that they're hitting their dumbbells. And so they took what the community was saying and fixed it. I love that. Now, something else to note, and something that some other companies are doing, but Griffin does, and I love it, is that they line the bottom part of their benches with this nice synthetic, or maybe even it's real leather over the wood. I like that a lot. I have some other benches that we're going to review in the future that don't have that. And it's something I think that's so little and easy to apply that it really makes your product feel a little more refined. They have it here also on this bench. Now, one of my favorite parts and one of my favorite things that Griffin is doing is on their dip attachment bar. And I'm personally planning to get a few of these in the future, not right now, but a few of these in the future to add onto our PR5000 racks. Because the way that they work, okay, they have UHMW lining, standard, everyone's doing that, but this is similar to the, I believe, Sornix design. Some other companies are doing it too, but a lot of them require a hitch pin. The nice thing about this, it's no hitch pin. Basically what you do is you rotate the dip bar, then you put it in the rack, and you can use it. And when you're not using it, you can store it like this. Something I'd like to see from companies, and something that I have difficulty in figuring out where to position my dip bars, is, I'm not too big of a fan of putting it on the main 4 posts because it limits your ability to use the 4 posts as you're training. Let's say you have 2 people on this rack, one in the front, one in the back, and let's say you have J-cups there. Is something nice about the 6-post rack is you're likely able to put this right here and store it in the back. That way it's out of the way and you can fully use your entire rack. Now, obviously that's the 1-inch hole rack, and the Premier product, something that I'm a huge fan of, and we'd recommend if you can spend the extra money, 1-inch holes all the way. I've had both. I've had 5/8 inch and so on. I'm a big fan of that. This is their west side hole option, smaller option, cheaper. Okay, this is a squat stand with the half rack conversion back here. Very nice, same powder coat as is on the big boy. But it comes with some more standard features that also help cut costs. And I mean, that's good. If you're on a budget, then I think it's an excellent option. It's an option I've had. I've had rack exactly like this from another manufacturer. Something I do like though is on the Rep PR5000, I guess I have the lower J-cups, but on this style J-cup in general, because I've also have Titan, I've had Rep, and so on in this style. Something I like that Griffin is doing is this feels very solid. Okay, this J-cup feels incredible. There's no wiggle, really. Okay, this is tightened down very well. If you see, very little wiggle and room there. In the future, I'll show you on my Rep rack and on the J-cup, when you move this, you get like half an inch. You get probably this much room here. And on our Rogue Ohio bars, they get pretty messed up because it's metal on metal contact right there. So I like how their tolerances are pretty tight, and it helps keep everything nice, secure, and safe. And also look how securely this fits on the rack. That being said, there is a little bit of the plastic liner on the inside, but obviously, this equipment right here, this is their showroom, it's like new. When you get your rack, probably take that off and take it off of your J-cups and work with it. Something else that I like, the nuts, the bolts that they're using on the end here compared to the PR5000 attachments. In my opinion, these are superior. They look stronger, they look beefier. And something I didn't like on the PR5000 attachments is that from the factory, okay, from rep to my door, the PR5000 attachments would scratch up my rack. Okay, if you see this rack here, okay, granted it's a showroom rack, so it probably gets less use than a home gym or a commercial gym, but almost instantly these nuts were scratching up the brand new metallic black rep PR5000 uprights, and that was like, it's like scratching up your brand new Ferrari, okay, when you put this much money and effort into a home gym. And obviously I went back with some kind of, I forget what tool I used, but to tighten it up and help recess some of those nuts. But some of the nuts just wouldn't recess. And even now when I use it, like the spotter arms on my PR5000, one of them in particular has really tight tolerance on the PR5000, and it scratches up the rack. This one, it feels comfortably snug, but it doesn't feel like it's going to, to scratch up your rack. If you have any questions, guys, leave it in the comments. Like if you liked it. Feel free to subscribe for more. And yeah, let us know what you think of the Griffin fitness racks. Overall, I'm really impressed with what they're doing as a company. And yeah, guys, stay tuned for more.